awakening? Is that what
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, and Yogananda also says that if you look at any great saints, they had to go through that process of awakening this energy at the base of the spine. Let me just read briefly again from the from the Second Coming. To think that this Kundalini force can be easily awakened or aroused by accident is another fallacy. Awakening the Kundalini force is exceedingly difficult and cannot be done accidentally. It takes years of concerted meditation under the guidance of a competent guru before one can dream of releasing the heavenly astral body from its bondage to physical confinement by awakening the Kundalini. One who's able to awaken the Kundalini fast approaches the state of Christhood. Ascension through that coiled pathway opens the spiritual eye of spherical vision, revealing the whole universe surrounding the body, supported by the vibratory light of heavenly powers. So that gives you some more definite idea of what's going on.
Now, in terms of how the Dumo energy is activated, we have to precede that by a discussion of what is referred to as the extraordinary preliminary practices. Nundro is the Tibetan name, and that involves doing 5 different kinds of activities, 111,111 times each. Well, that'll keep you busy for a little while. So one just kind of go, well, is that really necessary? Well, yes, it is necessary, both for the transformation of the physical state of the body, but also for a transformation of the mental state of the mind and the spiritual connection one has with one's guru or one's teacher. So the first of these preliminary practices is is taking refuge, and taking refuge in the Buddha, taking refuge in the Dharma, taking refuge in the Sangha. And this isn't just simply a devotionary practice. I mean, when one takes refuge in the Buddha, it's not like worshiping the Buddha or anything like that, but it's saying like, hey, the Buddha was a human being that accomplished consummate awakening. If that human being could do it, maybe I could do it too. So it's an acknowledging that it is in fact possible for a human being, and it has been done. Is a teacher required? Absolutely. In fact, it's interesting. I was talking to a Vajrayana friend of mine just last week, and he was talking to a Lama friend of his, and he said, "So is a teacher really necessary?" He goes, "A teacher is absolutely essential." Now, in the Vajrayana tradition, a teacher actually is essential, and is essential for a number of reasons. For one, the practices themselves, the visualization practices, require a formal initiation and permission in order to practice. And they say that practicing without those kinds of authorizations and permissions is just going to be karmically messy. And so, yeah, there's an initiation practice, which is a whole nother topic that goes beyond the scope of what we're doing here. But also for another very practical reason, and that is that the actual specific mechanism of the yogas themselves is very complex and actually has to be demonstrated. And also a teacher is required because if one is truly successful at awakening these internal energies, there can be all kinds of energy distortions that occur within the body and within the mind. And so to have somebody that is already experienced in those phenomena and in those experiences is really quite necessary for the practitioner's own safety. So.